Hello everyone and welcome back to the final episode of Let's Play Shin Megami Tensei, actually. So, we are going to be finishing the game up today, at least on this route. So, if you recall last time, we went ahead and we finished off the bottom half of the cathedral. All the chaos bosses have been slain, and we're gonna go the opposite direction this time. Gonna go all the way to the 8th floor and fight all of the archangels and finally put down our old friend Yuji. So that's going to be fun, but before that, got some loose ends to take care of. If you recall earlier in the playthrough, I showed you guys how to get a second fusion sword through a shop glitch, which I did beef up a little bit. I didn't make that into a Hino Kagetsuchi. I figured I might as well just to show that you can, all the way into this late in the game. So this second half is gonna look a little bit easier, maybe, than the Chaos side did, just because of that. But I assure you, they're pretty evenly matched. I did say that I thought the Chaos side was personally a bit more annoying last episode, and I still hold to that. But please note the disparity between the difficulty there is going to be because I'm fusing this second sword up. So yeah, I'm pretty sure I said last episode I thought we were done fusing this playthrough, but I lied, so yeah, just figured I might as well get a second Hino Kagetsuchi. Even at this point, just having one is good enough. There's not much left in this game to really worry about. If you clear out one side of the cathedral, you are more than ready to clear out the second half, because honestly, they're so equal in terms of difficulty that you should be good and ready to go, so. So I fused 2 elements there, and now I just need an Eros, and we're gonna do that thing where we triple fuse the 3 elements that are not fire to get the second tier elemental of the opposite alignment of those 3, which in this case is going to be Salamander, which we need to make the Hino Kagetsuchi, so. So yeah, I don't believe the shop glitch appeared in later versions of this game, which, to be fair, most of the time it's not really all that useful. You can actually use it to sell things over and over again that you actually don't own, which is like a very slow but I guess easy way to make money if you just don't feel like grinding up the fights for it. But late in the game, I think it's just easier to, run through a hallway with a lot of random encounters rather than continuously sell an attack knife that you don't have in your inventory. But yeah, if you're wondering what the shop glitch is in particular, if you missed out on the other episode or you just don't remember it and need a refresher, so you go and you go into a shop and you select either, like, buy or sell, or basically anything that would like pull up like a list of items that you can do some sort of transactions with. I don't know why I said lift. And so for example, you hit buy, you continue to hold down the A button, because normally when you're in a menu you just tap A and then it goes into the buy menu. So when you go to select buy, hold down A and keep holding it down, and then hit B. And then you will be prompted to either buy something that's, like, costs 0 money, or you'll be prompted to sell something that's not in your inventory. Like, for example, for selling, most of the time, if you hold down A when you hit sell, keep holding down A, and then press B to get out of your inventory, the shopkeeper will be like, oh, an attack knife, I'll buy that for, like, I think it's like 500 Maka or whatever, and you can sell an attack knife, and if you look in your inventory, even if you had an attack knife, you didn't lose one. So, like, these items just seem to generate out of nowhere. I don't know. I couldn't really tell you what the cause of that glitch is. The only thing I could think of really is, like, chances are, like, there's just a list of all the items in the game, and when you do that specific input, you mess up the game's, like, pointer to, like, where that's trying to reach in that database, and, like, it'll pull out the wrong item or do the wrong, like, more likely than that even is, you have various text prompts, and for whatever reason, instead of going to, like, instead of calling on, like, exiting out of the menu, it's bringing you to that, like, specific text prompt, which I don't know if that makes much sense, and it's probably wrong, but there's a few things I think it could be. Programming is fucking hard, and, like, things like that always leak through no matter what you do, so easy mistake to happen. It's one thing that I really appreciate from my time being a computer science major, despite eventually realizing that wasn't my passion in life, was, man, like, software development is fucking brutal, man. With all these, like, you know, big AAA games coming out and being buggy, like, did make me a bit more sympathetic to those. I mean, it's no excuse, but, like, being someone who, like, makes stuff, you know, just, like, having that experience, like, you get how that can happen. Especially with deadlines. Deadlines are fucking rough. But yeah, so, we're going, well, we did go west while I was, you know, jabbering on, to that island that Lucifer told us about. And, so, it is pretty much just a trap. If you're on the, neutral or law playthroughs, you're just gonna go ahead and have a fight with Beelzebub here. And, he's pretty powerful. I don't know if he is the most powerful boss in the game. I think the final bosses still technically take the cake for that, but he does hit pretty hard. He may have the most powerful physical attack in the game, I'm not entirely sure. Yeah, we had Demon die, so it's not great. But yeah, we have a lot of demons with Terrakaja, demon or two with Rakukaja. It's gonna be fine. That's fine. Got Hino Kagetsuchis now, which that's definitely helping out. And yeah, he can poison you, which ain't fun either. Kinda weird to have poison be this relevant this late in an RPG. Usually it stops being relevant, like, early on, when, like, antidotes and shit become commonplace, but I guess maybe in a way you can think of that poison to, like, maybe be a little bit of a predecessor to the fly status ailment in the later Mega 10 games where you fight Beelzebub. It's pretty cool how they expanded him to be a bonus fight here. I'm not quite sure about Megami Tensei 2, but, like, in the room right before Lucifer in Megami Tensei 1, you fight Beelzebub, and he is just literally a fly. It's kind of weird, but he hits hard, so at least I think he does. I don't quite remember anymore, but yeah, you just, like, there's one tile that you need to cross, and just little fly named Beelzebub will just show up and start to fight the party. It's really weird because, like, if you go back to that tile, like, if for whatever reason you decide, oh shit, I don't have enough HP to fight Lucifer and I want to teleport back, you can, like, teleport back and then go on that tile again, and every time you walk on that tile, Beelzebub appears. Like, you don't really, like, permanently kill him. He's not like a boss or anything. It's like a weird, like, fixed trap random encounter. Anyways, yeah, we're back in the, cathedral here. We're, gonna go back to the heart of the cathedral. I showed off here a little bit, I'm not entirely sure where, but there's like 3 entrances to the heart of the cathedral, and you can only go through the center one on... I believe which entrance you can go through actually varies depending on route. I think you can go on the right one, which is the one on the law side and on the law route, and then the opposite side on the chaos route. But in neutral, you have to kind of go all the way back around to, like, where you started, where, like, you know, your 2 friends were arguing, and go through the center. I could be completely wrong. It's been a while since I've played this game using the other 2 routes, or following the other 2 routes, rather. So maybe you just always go through the center, but I don't know. I think it'd be weird if there's 2 other doors that are just kind of there and you never were able to use them ever. So yeah, past the heart. So last time we kind of went like leftish to go ahead and descend and fight the chaos side, but now we're gonna go up, and we're going to go ahead and fuck up the Messians, so... Yeah, the side of the cathedral just has less obnoxious shit to it, and it also did help that, realized I had like a Fuma Bell in my inventory, which will, decrease the encounter rate, or it'll just prevent encounters after a little bit. Oh, this was stupid of me. So yeah, Grima Hikala, which, like, notorious demon in the series, for those of you who don't know, because he repels physical attacks. First thing I do, just auto-battle, hit him with my sword. That was stupid. And then there's Kukulane. He's cool. It's kind of weird because they introduced Kukulane and Tamlin, who both have the same sprite. Right in the same final stretch of the game here. It was kind of a weird design choice, but... Hey, you gotta spread those resources thin, I guess. I don't know. It's always fun seeing what demons that were kind of like palette swaps here ended up kind of getting their own designs as the series went on. And then there's Quetzalcoatl. I believe that's a... Can't remember if that's like a... something from Mayan... I want to say it's Mayan mythos. Could be Aztec. I don't remember. I vaguely recall taking a class, and I believe I had to give a presentation on Quetzalcoatl, but I don't really remember the context, but I remember because that's how I know how to say that word. And I probably still ended up saying it wrong, so fuck me, but... somewhere in my high school education, I think Quetzalcoatl was partially there, so... he was watching over me. So yeah, I figured I'd go ahead and just recruit a Kukulane just because he's one of the cooler demons, in my opinion. I just want him in my party, and also he's actually a really good party member. I think he's... I don't remember if he's neutral or law. He may be law in this game. But yeah, if you can get him, because his physical attack is pretty decent for this point in the game. I mean, it's not yours, but it's decent for what it is. And he has Terrakaja, so it's really cool. He's a good demon, good ally. Gonna replace Mizuki with them just because the only reason I really had Mizuki was for the Sukukaja. Oh, I guess he is neutral. Yeah, and he has Mahama, which, if you're, if you're neutral and you do the law route first, or you're, or if you're, just, you know, playing through the game law, it is pretty nifty to have, allies that can do, expel attacks, just because so many of the chaos demons are dark aligned, or just in general are very vulnerable to light attacks, that, like, you can wipe a lot of those encounters without even trying if you just spam those spells. I think in general in this game, Expel seems a lot more useful than Mudo ever was. Mudo is just kind of, I think, that, like, spell that a few mobs have and a few bosses have that are just kind of douchey to deal with. Oh yeah, and here's an Archangel. He's really not important. So yeah, just gonna fuck up Uriel real quick. I think it's Uriel. Yeah, I'll go with that one. That sounds more normal. Yeah, he's not difficult. He's kind of like the shit Archangel in all the games, with the exception being SMT4, where he's like the most powerful demon because he has a really dumb physical attack that's great. But you kind of need to, even that being said, you need to like fuse him in a way that he inherits a bunch of important shit, but yeah. So yeah, that was fast. It wasn't very powerful at all. Oh, that's one Archangel down. Clipping some wings and moving on. Actually, that is one thing that, I believe on the Chaos side of the Cathedral, the optional boss fights are a little bit more spread out. Like, I think, geez, I want to say, like, you fight Cert and then Ariok on the, like, right after each other on, like, the second basement and third basement, respectively, or something? Maybe, I don't remember, but, like, I know Astaroth, like, is a little bit more of the ways in. Yeah, for whatever reason, on the, Law route, or, sorry, on the Law half of the Cathedral, it's just one floor after another with the Archangels. So yeah, I think this is post Fumabel. You can notice because there's no transition every, like, other second as I walk. So actually, that's one thing I guess I will talk about. This game, you know, you guys know by now, this game's encounter rate is fucking ridiculous. I did the math, just because, like, you know, after I recorded this and edited it down and now I can talk over it, I'm just like, hey, I wonder how much time it would take for someone to watch my SMTLP versus playing the game. And on average, this game apparently takes like 35 hours, according to how long to beat. I'd say that's maybe like 5 hours, a bit longer than I would expect. I think maybe someone just really fudged that. I think this is about a 30-hour game if you're playing it and, you know, you're kind of trying to be keeping with the, you know, style of how to play the game. If you're using a guide, I want to say it's more like 25-ish, and this LP is going to clock in a little over 10 hours, which is pretty cool, so saving people some time. Now, I'll get back to that conversation a little bit later, but now I do want to point out that this fight is the one I kind of referenced last episode about being fucking annoying in one of the worst fights in the game. So this fight is probably one of the hardest. So straight up, this boss drains all physical attacks, but the way, at least with the English fan translation, it's stated, like, it just kind of says that, like, you, like, there was no effect or something, but she's actually draining and recovering HP from that. So there's actually going to be a bonus episode uploading right after this, where I spend maybe, like, geez, it may have been 10 to 20 minutes, just wailing on Gabriel with no progress being made, and then eventually realizing, oh wait, no, she drains and doesn't nullify those attacks. Oh, whoops. Because I kept hitting her with, no, I just hit auto, and all my demons were attacking her after the humans were hitting her with charm bullets. I'm just like, oh shit, I'm just nullifying all possible progress being made. So yeah, basically what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to get magic bullets and a powerful gun on both your characters. You're going to want to return all of your demons back to your comp, and you're just going to want to hit auto and keep using your gun over and over again, and that's how you win, so save you a lot of time. Yeah, easily one of the worst boss fights in the game to deal with. Yeah, you know what, actually, I'd say Gabriel's probably the most annoying. Ariok is close, but, like, you can have your demons out for Ariok without, like, any sort of penalty. That is straight up nullification. This is just, like, no, fuck you, if you hit me, I'm gonna heal up. And the game doesn't warn you about it, at least in this version, so yeah, please look forward to that bonus episode. That's really embarrassing, and I'm not even gonna bother commentating because it's dumb, so just have it for archival purposes. But yeah, speaking of archival purposes, actually, and going back to what I was talking about before we walked into that fight, yeah, like, I really wanted to just do this LP with the intention of having, I guess not only just having like a really comprehensive guide of this game, but also having just a comprehensive way to experience this game, because like, man, like I love this game, and I've said that, I've said this before, I'm starting to sound like a broken record. There's just a lot of gameplay and design problems with this entire experience, and like, I think it's an important game historically, and I guess I just wanted to have a way to archive what a comprehensive playthrough of this game looks like, and, show off the other routes that are, available to the player too. And I guess I don't even... I mean, it's easy looking back to talk about neutral and say it's like the main route, but I do kind of think that the neutral route in this game, this is the first game that had a neutral route. I think the neutral route was kind of supposed to be that secret thing that very few people initially knew about, and, either you heard it through word of mouth or you bought the strategy guide sort of thing. I really don't think that they intended for you to get neutral route your first playthrough, which, I mean, I guess is very interesting, like when SMT4 comes out, or, any new Mega 10 game with an alignment or anything. The first thing everyone wants to know is, how do I make sure I get neutral, which, I don't know, I think definitely back then they wanted people to just play the game and just see what they ended up getting, and then, hey, if you got the neutral route, that's pretty cool, you made the right choices, sort of deal, so... Yeah, that's Raphael down, so... That's one thing I remember from my early church days. It's not Raphael, that's the Ninja Turtle, it's Raphael. So that's the proper pronunciation of that one. Trust me, we got that beaten into our heads when we were little kids in the little religious education program, so yeah. So yeah, this is actually kind of cool. You get to, like, this weird little midpoint in the cathedral as you continue your climb up, so... This is a nice little break point there to go back to the overworld. But yeah, I'm sure there's a lot of people watching, rather, that, just have no intention of playing this game and, just watch me, watch this Let's Play to experience it, and, I'm happy I could provide that for you. I hope you enjoyed it. I mean, I do still think you should give this game an honest try, just because you never know, you might like it if you really are open-minded about it and you try to tolerate its very poorly aged faults, but honestly, I can't blame people if they just can't stand playing this for themselves and would rather just watch me. It's I mean, like I even said, it saves time, and also it's not a perfect game to go back to nowadays. I got a little Hanuman there who I don't know, I always end up seeming to get one of those every time I play through this game. They're pretty good too. They have some buffing skills, and they're a lot of HP, as you can see. But yeah, I recently tried, I don't know, like I really want to get into those Baldur's Gate games, just because I played Pillars of Eternity, and just, like, that, speaking of RPGs that haven't aged well, like, man, those are just intimidating to get into, not only because of their length, but their very hardcore, like, D&D 2nd edition rule set and, stuff like that. It can be quite impenetrable. And I imagine, like, just looking at this game right now, it's probably the same experience for a lot of people, so... And just gonna keep walking. I think I turned the wrong way that time. Easy to get lost. Once again, when I was going through this dungeon, I had it so that your yeah, once again when I went through this dungeon, I had it so that I had like a route mapped out on my tablet, and I just kept referencing that as I went through just to save time. Then these floors will just almost always take a percentage out of your health. One thing to keep in mind, though, that I'm fairly confident about, random encounters don't happen on trap tiles, so you can just continuously walk on these and, like, just heal up at the end. I'm pretty sure. I'm not 100% positive, but I think you can just, like, take the damage and then do your Rahan and you should be fine, so I just sped through that because being notified of every single party member being damaged is just the worst. So yeah, we're getting to the very final couple floors here, and once again we're getting some new enemies. So there's Fairy King Oberon. I think we're gonna see a few more, maybe. Oh yeah, there's Pendragon, he was on the last floor. Didn't really see him though, I don't know if I showed him off, but oh well, can't show them all off. I tried, but... Oh, this is Tao Tai, which, you may remember is that weird little, like, koala thing with, like, ram horns that shows up in the other games. And, they just reused an Abaddon sprite for that one, so... Guess he wasn't important enough. Or rather, they didn't have the money. That Abaddon sprite, this is a good sprite. There's our friend Yuji. We're gonna pull a Takashi and just get him to shut up for good, so rest in pieces. I feel very conflicted about this game in particular's approach to the rival fights, because I do think they're cool, and I do kind of like the fact that you just, like, curb stomp them in a weird way, because it just shows how much better you are than them, and how, like, in a way you were kind of superior to them all along, and, like, they were kind of assholes and deserved it, and they were so beneath you, but at the same time, like, man, it would have been so cool to have, like, a weird little, like, rival fight. Like, that's something in games I just really, you know, I'm a sucker for, like in Metal Gear Rising when you fight Jetstream Sam, or, you know, every Devil May Cry you fight Virgil in, like, that rival battle is just such a pivotal moment to so many games, and it would have been a lot cooler to, have that here. Like, I think the only Megaten game I really think did it right in my eyes are when you fight, I think his name is like Finnegan in Soul Hackers, or there's a few enemies you fight in Soul Hackers, and they'll just straight up summon a demon party that mirrors whatever party you enter the fight with, which is fucking awesome. Like, more Megaten games I think need to do that, where you just have a straight up demon, like full demon party versus full demon party fight with just like a human summoner. Like, those are rad. And like, there's a few summoner fights in these games, but those are more like weird little like Zerg Rush fights where they just send wave after you. And then you get to these human fights and it's just a guy with magic powers that they can't help but just get crushed under everything you throw at them, so... Yeah, one thing I do like here a little bit, and I guess it just shows the differences between their characters, is Yuji's pretty, you know, apologetic, and he kind of realizes he was being used by the end. Takashi kind of hints that maybe he kind of regrets it a little bit, and then decides at last minute right before he dies, like, no, that was I'm pretty happy with what I did, and then he just kind of dies. Like, I think that's a really cool little neat difference there. And I guess that, that Yuji line as he dies, that little confession that he was wrong, does, I guess, kind of give credence to that, you know, the theory that maybe Yahweh just brainwashed him and he wasn't totally in on it, sort of thing, so. But we'll never know for sure. So, we're here. Final boss fight. Kind of ridiculous to think that, all this time later, through all those delays and episodes that took forever to come out, finally facing the final boss right in the face. And he's got quite the monologue here. He's pretty upset. Gonna wipe that Cheeto dust off his skin and just shove that lance right up his pooper, but before that, I want to thank everyone for watching, and in general, I don't know, I've gotten a lot of really nice comments regarding this Let's Play that, I don't know, I'm just really happy about. I really like how this ended up turning out. Like I said, I wanted something that could be used to help people through this game that I love, and just help people experience this game that I love, and I think I did a really good job. Like, I don't know, I'm happy with it. I think a lot of other people are, so that's rad. And I kind of just fuck around here. I'm like, let's just talk this out. I know this fucker does run away. No, we can't, so. Yeah, he's just gonna start off strong. Just gonna cast Megadolan. Megadolan, rather. So yeah, like, a shit ton of my party is just gonna be damaged. And then this is the point where I realized, oh fuck, I probably should have healed everyone before I walked into the final boss fight. And whatever, fuck it. Let's just buff up and do it. Not even bother about healing. Just go fucking do it. So yeah, like, the legitimate way to have done this would to have been heal beforehand, instead of just waltzing in like a stupid moron that I am, and then just, you know, pretty much actually just doing the same thing that we did against the Asura Lord. I believe their movesets are actually pretty similar, but, and what can you do, so. Yeah, we're just gonna tough it out and deal as much damage as we can. I like Michael as the final boss fight of this game. I don't know, I enjoy the idea of just taking out the final big Archangel as the final fight more so than the Asura Lord, just because, I don't know, maybe it's just personally for me, but I kind of like the thematic, climbing up to the top of the cathedral and, you know, destroying the angels sort of thing as a nice little climax point of the game. And yeah, like half our party just ate it right there, so that's great. And you still got Rangda, so that's fine. I think I'm actually gonna heal Yuka here just because she's running a little bit low. And good thing I did. Megadolan packs a bit more of a punch than Asura Lord's, I think. I think he has a bit more of a magical strength to him, but couldn't really confirm that for you. If you go back and check the footage, I'm sure there's a more concrete answer for you. Maybe they're about the same, who knows. But yeah, he's still really not that much of a threat. I think his physical attack is the one that's actually going to be doing the most damage for you. And that being said, you probably have a demon or two. Well, maybe not probably, but you could have a demon or two that's going to reflect at least part of that back at him, which is nice. Yeah, he has Miragion, which just really is... He might as well just not take a turn that round because it does so little damage to pretty much everyone at this point. But Megadolan does some decent damage, probably anywhere in the hundreds range, and the 100 range rather. And then yeah, his physical attack can pack quite a punch, but that's what Rakukaj is for, so. Or Tarunda if you have it, but I think Rakukaj is a bit more commonplace at this point, so. in general in this game, I think demons with buff skills are a bit more commonplace than those with debuffs, but it doesn't matter. Kazuya and Yuka, with all their demon friends dead, just teamed up with their dual Hino Kagetsuchi action, just took out Michael. It's a fun little way to end the game here. Truth be told, didn't even need both those Hino Kagetsuchis. Could have just used Kazuya's and could have just continuously charmed him with Yuka's charm bullets, but what can you do? And it is kind of embarrassing, like, you know, you get all the other archangels together, you kinda take over the American army, take over part of Japan, responsible for a nuclear holocaust, and like, it's kinda just all for nothing. You end up dying in the end. Let's deal with that. And like, I mean, from his perspective, this was like probably well beyond 30 years in the making. I'm sure there's some weird like conspiracy intermachination shit going on way before even the game started, so yeah, sucks to be you, Michael, but whatever. So yeah, this is the final area of the game you get warped to, and we're gonna go ahead and just sit back and enjoy the neutral ending. So yeah, every ending of this game, you go up to this top floor, and you have just a nice little conversation with a different character depending on what ending you got. I won't spoil the other two just because I'll leave those for when I do the bonus videos that cover those routes, which reminds me, it looks like Law is ahead as of this recording, so we're going to be doing the Law route after this all clears up. Maybe not for a while. I want to take a little bit of a break and work on other stuff, but we'll do the Law route as a bonus video, just show off all the endgame differences there, and then we'll do the Chaos route after that for those that want to see those routes, so. But yeah, we just have a nice little conversation with Laozi. I never got confirmation about that pronunciation, so you know, that's the recurring trend this LP, me not being able to pronounce anything for shit, or at least feeling very unconfident about it. But yeah, just he basically goes on to talk to us about the differences between Law and Chaos and the strengths of both of them as ideologies, but how they go too far with what they want to accomplish, and you know, it's not good for anyone involved. So, you know, I will say that Mega 10 as a series isn't always great with it, and I think that considering the time this came out, this was really good, but you know, now it's a little simplistic and dated. I think after Bioshock Infinite, I think a lot of games criticism really started to get sick of that idea of the whole neutrality and both sides are bad sort of thing. You know, that idea that the middle ground is always in every situation the go-to right option, you know. Situations like this and, you know, ideological conflict is never that simple, unfortunately, and while that's a nice idea, and I think there's some validity to be had about, you know, avoiding extremism, there's always that, you know, that's just not how real-world conflict works, and I do think it is a fair criticism of Megaton as a series to maybe somewhat rely on that idea a little too much. Maybe part of that is just I'm sick of the fan base and comparing every world issue to, oh, well, this is Law and this is Chaos, so the obvious moral high ground is we all get on the neutral in-between route, and it's like, no, it's not how real life works, unfortunately. It'd be nice if there was something that simple and, you know, a basic guideline to get all the answers, but I don't know. Maybe I'm getting a little too philosophical here in our final moments together, but I think it's important to always take, you know, everyone into account and try not to be extreme about things, but also sometimes simple fact of the matter is there's a right and there's a wrong, and sometimes issues are gray, sometimes issues are pretty black and white, and there's no easy answers in this world, unfortunately. But yeah, on a less serious note, I'm very, very happy that we finally finished this. May not mean a lot to you watching, maybe it will, maybe it won't, I'm not sure. I mean, I hope you enjoyed it, but for me personally, just finishing this Let's Play is a pretty big milestone, just because, I don't know, I put a lot of love into this project, and also to, it took me a while, which, you know, if you followed up with this as it happened, you probably know, just a lot of, various depression and anxiety issues really, hindered me working on this, and then we had the whole, thing where, this game's soundtrack was being blocked on YouTube in, various countries, and it's, you know, that was a whole copyright fiasco after they introduced YouTube Red. And then just after that, it became a matter of just having a lot on my plate in my personal life, and you know, going out and doing a lot of stuff around university. So yeah, kind of weird little I don't know. This LP kind of represents a weird little shift in my life and responsibilities, and you know, maybe being a little bit less depressed about stuff. So I think I'll always kind of look fondly back at this period of my life, and this LP in particular, as a fun little project that I used to, you know, kind of deal with some stuff. So it was good fun overall, and I sincerely hope you enjoyed it. But yeah, other than that, don't have too much more to say other than I have a podcast. If any of you maybe somehow stumbled onto this Let's Play and you know, didn't you know, realize I did other stuff, or you know, you just kind of followed up with this, and I just kind of do some other like gaming related stuff on YouTube. Also, I love this typo right at the end here. Great job fan translation team. This is good. This is some good stuff. But yeah, I do some other, you know, I do a gaming podcast. I plan on doing more Let's Plays, and working on making some more like video essay type content. So if you want to stick around for that, that'd be cool. But also, hey, if you just wanted to stick around and watch the Shin Megami Teriyaki go through, yeah, I hope you enjoyed it. So I think I'm just gonna call it quits here on the recording. Nice little point here where we go through the credits of the game and have some nice little flashbacks to various moments that happened throughout. I did end up having to use the I actually kind of had to go through and use the PS1 version of this ending theme, just because the SNES version, for whatever reason, is still resulting in videos being blocked on people's channels, I believe. So I don't know. The PS1 version sounds nicer anyways, so it's not fully accurate, but hey, fuck it. This is good enough. It's kind of the motto of my life. It's good enough. Don't worry about things if they're good enough. So yeah, once again, thanks for watching, and I hope you look forward to the bonus episodes coming out sometime in the future. Have a good night, guys.